Meanwhile, we're waiting for others to join us. You can use this time to introduce yourself in the chat box so that you can network with other people in agriculture value chain. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Maybe someone, if we can respond.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, if you can hear me.
Okay, good morning, everyone, once again. So before we get to the agenda of today, allow me to welcome you all in our today's webinar, Investing in Apple Farming and the Agro B2B Networking. My name is Gift Gabriel. I'm a Trade Information Officer at the East African Business Council, and I'll be moderating today's session. So today's webinar on apple farming in East Africa is organized by the East African Business Council in collaboration with TamTam Tanzania, who have enormous experience in research and development in apple farming in the region. So getting to our agenda of today, the first item on the agenda will be opening remarks. So we'll hear opening remarks from our CEO, Mr. John Bosco Kalisa. And then we will have the presentation session, which will be delivered by Mr. David Runge. And then we will have a session for question and answers. After that, we are going to have a presentation from Brian Otim on Agro B2B networking. And then we will continue with a short session of question and answers. We'll have closing and way forward. So without wasting much of your time, allow me to welcome our CEO, Mr. John Bosco Kalisa, for his opening remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gabriela. And allow me from the onset to thank and appreciate EABC board directors present, our esteemed members present, private sector players in agro sectors and investors in agro sector, the CEO TamTam Tanzania, my brother David, really for your interests and capability in organizing and promoting the sector, especially Apple. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure as the EABC CEO to see how you have demonstrated interests and commitment to drive the growth in the agriculture sector. I've appreciated this. We've had a number of webinars looking at the food security and how to build resilience in the agro sector. We've had a number of challenges, external challenges, external shocks, but the region has ably demonstrated a remarkable resilience within the sector, agro sector. And I've been talking to a number of policy makers across the region. They are building reserves within agriculture sector, but above all, they are trying to address a number of barriers related to the movement of agriculture products across the region, addressing a number of NTBs. So we have organized this sector from an investor perspective. It is a very unique webinar because we want to hear the truth, the reality, and the honest from one of our investors, David, who has really taken risks to invest in the Apple sector. And David will able illustrate and elaborate how the region has the potential in terms of producing apple instead of importing apple. We all know that when you eat one apple a day, you are chasing away all the disease. So it is one of the value chain that EABC has demonstrated interest to understand more about the dynamics, about the soil potential. We've all heard that our soil is not good for apple, but David is here to demystify what others have been saying, and he has really tested it and is growing apple across the United Republic of Tanzania. David will also show how much the region spends in terms of imports of apple. So apple is not only, we are not only looking at it as a value chain or as a products, but it has a number of benefits, health-related benefits, but also income-related benefits, especially to smallholder farmers. So this is a very exciting on our side to look at how best we can support work with Tamtam Tanzania, and how are we able to roll out this across the region. Myself, I've had a detailed discussion, a deeper discussion with David, and he demonstrated to me that the East Africa can grow apple. I can stop importing apple and grow apple because our soil fertility is sufficient, is robust, is fertile to grow apple. So this is specifically for this value chain, and I'm looking into the discussion, deliberation, and outcome of this session, and how best do we work with David in terms of rolling out this initiative. I'm also very excited that Brian will be also sharing the insight. Brian leads our digital platform, and he has already started posting some of the apples, and people are buying online. We've been piloting this, and we've seen that is working. As the region is moving toward digitization, I think EABC is at the forefront of driving digital evolution and digital innovation. Digital innovation is not only internet access and others, but embedding digital innovation within our value chain, the value chain where the region has a comparative and competitive advantage. So the apple becomes one of the, I would say, one of the sample value chain where we want to test our instruments, our digital instruments, so that the consumers, the producers, the distributors of the value chain can use or leverage our platform in terms of buying and selling their products. So as I said, it's very exciting. We are very, very happy as EABC and through the management And we are very committed to roll out a number of value chains through our digital innovative platform. So with that, I want really to wish everyone a very fruitful deliberation. And my colleague Gift and Patrick will continue to engage. But David, again, I request David after presentation, he will also, on my behalf, deliver the closing remarks. With that, I officially open this webinar, and I wish you a very fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much, Asanteni sana. God bless you all.
Thank you, CEO, for those opening remarks, where you highlighted the remarkable resilience in the agro sector in the region, where the expert will show the reality in apple farming sector in the region, where the region has the potential to farm apples and numbers of benefits, especially to smallholders, farmers. So without wasting much of the time, let me welcome the expert from Tamtam, Mr. David, to introduce himself and to take us through
Gift, I see someone called John. John, I think he has a burning question. If you may give him an opportunity, maybe before David.
Okay, John, your mic. You have given a permission to use your mic. If you have a burning question, please go ahead. In the meantime, I encourage participants to put, if you have any question for now, you put your question in the chat box so that they can be addressed later. Okay, John has no question, so let me welcome the expert, David. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Without saying too many words, I will jump into the presentation. Thank you very much for the East African Business Council to facilitate this. Thank you all of you to join this and for your interest. I believe many of you will already have seen Tamu Tamu Tanzania on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. So I will keep the presentation today quite short, so we have enough time at the end for a very intensive Q&A. And I encourage you all, please, to ask whatever you want. Yeah, in Germany, we have a saying, there are no stupid questions. Not asking, that is stupid. Yeah, so anyway, let me share my screen. Please, Gabriel, let me know. Can you see the presentation and my screen?
Yeah, it is visible, David. Proceed, please.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let me welcome you to the presentation of apple farming in East Africa. I'm David Runge, the commercial director and partner at Tamu Tamu Tanzania. And yeah, we are the guys who are doing apples. Let's start with some nice pictures straight from our farm, where you see from apples to harvest, our cold room, to where we're producing the trees. Now I will talk about the apple market in East Africa. I will give a short overview about the company. I will explain further the 5 reasons for apple farming that we have published. I will give you 3, 4, 5 of the actually most asked questions and answer them. I will talk about, I give a harvest projection and talk about the business case. Then I explain to you, how do you choose the right variety for your farm? Because one of the questions that we're getting asked the most is, what is the best variety? Spoiler alert, there is no the best variety. We come to that later. And then I will tell you what is happening at our company currently and where are we expanding, what are we doing? And then you will have time for a Q&A. To give all of you an idea, actually, how severe it is. The East African countries are importing 400 to 500 million US dollars of fresh apples. Yeah, you see apples being sold, traded everywhere, at bus stands, supermarkets, on the street. A similar amount is traded in processed goods, which is juice, snacks, alcohol, but all imported or all produced with imported materials. And why should we import something when we can produce it locally? So let me enter the presentation. Oh, this is us at our Christmas party. Nice picture. So Tamu Tamu Tanzania was founded 2016. 2017, over 50 varieties have been imported, and 5 years research and development with producing trees, selling trees to different regions in East Africa have proven which variety is working where, with which performance, which shelf life, which taste, and so on and so on. We are the first commercial apple farm and apple tree nursery, and we are passionate about what we are doing. We are selling this year already apple trees to Nigeria, to DRC, to Ghana, to Kenya, and so on, because it's a great thing. And what we have told us is we want to establish a new standard of professionalism and product quality in the agriculture sector. I will talk about that later. So yeah, let's dive into the 5 reasons for apple farming. Number 1, sales prices are high and apples can be sold directly by farmers. I mean, all apples are imported. Yeah, and importing, especially fruits, which need to be imported via cold chain, apples come mostly from South Africa, the cost associated to importing a fruit are very high. This reflects in high sales prices. And when I'm saying can be sold directly by farmers, we have sold the majority of apple trees in the southern highlands in Tanzania, where is a very flourishing route with many trucks and buses between Zambia and Dar es Salaam. And you see already farmers standing by the road and selling apples, and they're selling them for $50. That's a lot of money. Number 2, water requirements are lower than many other tree crops. Let me explain why. You know, apples are produced in the northern or the southern side of the globe, where you have naturally a winter. In winter, the tree is losing its leaves and it's going into a dormancy state. You can call it as well in a sleeping state. We in Tanzania, the rain is stopping in April, May. We are not irrigating May, June, July, August. We are just irrigating in September, October, November till the rain starts. And other tree crops, you often have to irrigate all year round. And irrigation is very expensive. So as the dormancy state of the tree is coinciding with the dry season, you are saving a lot of money in irrigation. Everyone who has the farm and is running irrigation knows how expensive that is. Number 3, diversification of income and greater resilience. When it comes to diversification of income, I don't think I have to explain that, yeah? Don't put all your eggs in one basket, counts in agriculture as well. When I'm talking about greater resilience, this is number 1, against the effects of climate change. I just explained the reduced water requirements, but as well in terms of resilience against global market disruptions. Yeah, all of us have experienced in the last years through COVID or whatever kind of stuff, interruptions of global trade. And farmers are mostly the ones who are losing out when they cannot export their crops, when they cannot sell their crops. Yeah, and apple is so amazing because you can produce it locally and sell it locally for a high price. Number 4, apple trees live over 100 years old, providing secure income for generations. Apple trees get over 100 years old. So a farmer coming to us to the farm, buying apple trees, and actually is saying, hey, the grandchildren of my grandchildren will harvest apples from these trees, is a nice thing. Number 5, Tamu Tamu has well-adapted varieties and is off-taker of fresh apples. We have done the research. Which apple varieties are working around the equator? We are importing our rootstock from Europe. Yeah, the product that we are producing, the apple tree, is absolute top-notch. It's It's an amazing apple tree. And when it comes to off-taking, if you would be currently at our farm, you see every week several trucks arriving with crates full of apples from farmers, and farmers are happy. If now someone is asking from Lagos, Nigeria, if they want to go into apple farming, or in Ghana, sorry, you're a bit too far away. But anyway, I can talk about that later. Then the most asked questions. Yeah, let's go into it. Is this the South African type of apples? Yeah, the one which is sold for high prices in the market? Short answer, yes. If you're in Kampala, if you're in Kigali, if you're in Nairobi, you see the apples sold and they're all imported, and you know what's the price. Where can I grow apples? Now it gets interesting, and I want us to differentiate between where can I grow apples and where can I grow apples commercially. We have warm weather adapted varieties. We have already sold apple trees to Mombasa, Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, where it's really hot, and you will have apples on your trees. But in general, we do not advise investments in commercial apple production in hot areas. If you want to achieve similar results to us, or well-performing trees at us, and good per hectare returns, you need cold at least once a year. So the warm adapted varieties, we are very confident to sell and for farmers to have great performance above an altitude of 1,000 meters. And the late maturing varieties, which definitely need cold, we are confident to sell them from an altitude 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 meters altitude. I will give an example later. Is this a good business? I mean, yes, all of you know what's the price of apples in the market. Look at this tree. You don't even see the whole tree. That tree is 3.5, almost 4 years old, and you will have about 100 to 150 nice big apples on this tree. Imagine that is a farmer and he has this tree. That's quite some serious money on that tree. Number 4, what are sales like? Yeah, because I think that's one of the things most agriculture investors or farmers are challenged with, is actually the sales. But that's the beauty of apples, like I already explained. You can sell them locally. If you go to the next market, if you're in Uganda and that means Mbarara, if that means Kenya, if that means Kigali, Lusaka in Zambia, you can take your apples to bring them to the market and you sell them locally. Number 5, how do I take care of apple trees? I cannot explain that here in detail now. Yeah, everything is online, a lot of videos, explanations, soil preparations, and so on. But in a nutshell, it's all about soil preparations. It's about how you plant, how you take care of the tree, training of the branches. It's all online, yeah? And one of the things which are quite funny is about a month after harvest, you are removing all the leaves from the tree. Yeah, try please to explain that to a small-scale farmer in Tanzania, for example, to go in around May to his trees and remove all the leaves from the tree, so the tree standing there as a skeleton. It's quite hard to explain that, but it's much better in terms of performance, and you are inducing the dormancy, like the sleeping phase for the tree. You can watch the video that you see here in Swahili and in English online. Number 6, can Tamu Tamu buy my apples? The video that we see, I think we took 2 weeks ago. That was in the Njombe region in Tanzania. Quite nice, actually, to have apples, the South African type, for sales available locally. If, like I said, if you are too far away from us, we cannot buy. There you see in the back. There you see my colleagues, and in the background, my colleague Peter Schurz, my business partner, who is the heart and the brain of Tamu Tamu. Yeah, if you are too far away from us, we cannot buy your apples. Yeah, we have a lot of things going on, which means like, let's see what is happening in Kenya, in Uganda, and other neighboring countries. But if you're in Ghana or in Cameroon, sorry, you're a bit too far from us. And currently in Tanzania, we only buy apples in the Southern Highlands. Let's see what is coming in the coming years, because if it is Arusha, if it is Kampala, if it is Moshi, everywhere you can produce apples, Kigali, and so on. Okay, additional information. I will now give a harvest projection, which is more pieces per tree. Then I will explain a bit how do you choose the right variety for your farm. And then I give you actually an outlook, yeah, in terms of company strategy, future development, what is happening. So in terms of harvest projection, in the first year and the second year, you could already have some apples on your trees, but we strongly advise actually to remove the apples from your trees. You do not want to harvest in the first 2 years. And then year 3, 50, 60 apples. Year 4, 120, 130. Year 5, year 6, 200. Year 6, year 7, year 8, 300. And the tree is reaching its full potential in year 8, year 9. We're still about like 300 apples per trees. And yeah, if you calculate that, we recommend conventional planting a spacing of 3 by 3, which is about 450 trees per acre, 1,100 trees per hectare. That's over 100,000 apples per acre. That's quite some good income. And like I said, apple trees get over 100 years old. When it comes to the business case and the differences actually between conventional planting and commercial planting, all the corporate players, I would like you to look at our business case, which is online, because between conventional and commercial planting, there's still a difference, which conventional is 1,100 trees per hectare, and commercial is like 3,000 to 3,500 trees per hectare. But yeah, there you see, these pictures are not from Tamu Tamu, I want to mention, because we are just starting to implement commercial apple production methods, and we still need some research and development, how successful that will be. I mean, we are quite confident that it will be very successful. We are confident that harvest of 50 to 60 tons per hectare are very realistic. But how good that will turn out, we will see. I want to mention that internationally, there are agriculture entrepreneurs who are harvesting 110 to 120 tons per hectare of apples. That's 500,000 apples per year per hectare. Yeah, but we are not publishing that because we first have to prove how good that will work out. Yeah, now when it comes to choosing the right variety, yeah, there's videos online. In a nutshell, we have early and late maturing varieties. They are different in the harvest time, cash flow wise, climate resilient wise, and shelf life wise. We still recommend farmers to take a broad range of apple tree varieties because you want to harvest at different times. But they come with, I don't want to say advantages and disadvantages. I would just call them different kind of features. Yeah, please look the video online where everything is actually explained. Here I give you just a very short example. Maria from Eldoret, 2,000 meter, perfect, cold. Yeah, we gave her 80% late maturing varieties and 20% early maturing varieties. So the late maturing varieties, the apples, they have a much longer shelf life, crunch, taste, it's amazing. The early maturing varieties, they're great as well, but the shelf life is shorter. But for cash flow reasons, we gave her a mixture. Joseph from Kampala. Kampala is on 1,600 meters altitude. We gave him 40% late maturing and 60% early maturing. And when you now see Adele from Dodoma, which is similar to Lusaka, in Zambia. The altitude is 1,200 meters. And we told Adele we are confident that all the early maturing varieties will do well. Late maturing varieties, the performance will not be as good as if you would plant in colder areas. But she said, hey, I'm buying apple trees. I want anyway some late maturing varieties. So that was her decision. Here you see some of our varieties. Yeah, this is available online as well in English and in Swahili. We're currently working on a French version. Yeah, but it's all online. And yeah, let me give you an idea of what is currently happening. We're expanding online trainings and we are sharing information, and all for free. We will have more training videos, more in detail coming up in the coming months. We currently working on a farmer's handbook, which will be not that much scientific, more really practical, hands-on. Will be a 20-page document for farmers to really read through, hey, how do I take care of my apple tree? And if I'm putting it in this input, operational wise, financially wise, what will be the output? And yeah, in different languages and all online, all for free to download. Then we want to be off-takers for apples, we as Tamu Tamu, because what we have experienced is that still many farmers want to have an off-taking channel, a secured sales. And what is amazing at the other end is, in every agriculture activity, you have a grade A, you have a grade B, you have a grade C. If you go in our cold room currently, you will see apples with a dark spot, or they have been bruised while harvesting or transport. But we still want to buy them because we are making juice and cider. Yeah, we will be the first ones in East Africa making a cold pressed apple juice and the cider from real apple juice. Yeah, and it's an amazing product. Seeing my Tanzanian colleagues drinking the first time a real apple juice in their life, which has so much flavor, is so deep in flavor, it's amazing. Then new varieties, new research. We're importing every year new varieties. We're continuing the research because we want to further develop the industry. And what many people are approaching us and saying now, if it is investors, if it is traders, if it is whoever kind of stakeholders, they're saying what you guys are doing at Tamu Tamu is amazing. You're producing a quality product, you're making education material for free online, you're selling apple trees, you're buying the apples back, and you're processing it. This is amazing. Can we partner up with you to replicate your model? So there's a lot of things actually currently happening. It's quite amazing. For all of you, please, if you're ever in the Southern Highlands, we invite everyone to visit the farm because we believe we have something amazing ongoing, and everyone interested in the agriculture industry should actually see what Tamu Tamu is doing. So our gates are always open for visitors, Monday to Friday. Please don't come on a Sunday. We need a break as well. And when I'm saying changing the agriculture industry, what does that mean? Or what do I mean with writing that? My business partner, Peter Schurz, and I, we worked since many years in the agriculture sector, and we want to establish a new level of confidence, which means every product we are selling is top-notch. Every advice we are giving is based on a solid business case. If someone is buying trees, someone just bought from Arusha 2,000 trees and 5 arrived broken, we replace the next day. We are inviting universities and students to visit our farm, because I think we as business leader, we are obliged to share knowledge and help to train the next generation, and so on and so on. Yeah, we're quite confident and we are passionate about what we are doing. Everything that you see that I've explained is far more in detail online on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. Please feel free to visit. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention. And I would say now we have time for an intensive Q&A. And Gabriel, I hand over to you for the moderation. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Mr. David, for that training. So if anyone has a question, please raise your hand so that we can give you permission to use your mic. So we have Lydia.
And please, everyone who has a question, because I believe Daniel, Gabriel, there will be a lot of questions. Please write the question in the chat. Thank you very much, because then we can just go from question to question. My business partner, Peter Schurz, is in the call as well. And he is, when it comes to answer to agriculture related questions, definitely the best skilled person. Please don't ask me how much lime I should add if I'm in Njombe or in Kampala or in Mbarara to adjust the soil pH. Yeah. Anyway, Gabriel, please.
Gabriel, maybe before Lydia, Gabriel, I wanted to thank David for such a very sweet, nice, and short presentation. Just on my side, 3 quick questions, David. One is that have you tested our soil? What's the problem we're grappling with is the soil fertility across the EAC. There is a kind of degeneration of the soil. The second question is around post-harvest losses. Are there any losses farmers incur? The last one is the extension services that are required for the apple. So if you could touch on those, I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I want to thank you for that.
Thanks a lot. So first of all, when it comes to soil, apple production and where you can produce apples is determined by your altitude and the temperature. I want to please remember, temperature, rainfall, you cannot change, you cannot fix. The soil you can fix. Where we are in the southern highlands of Tanzania, we really have bad soil. We have a soil pH of 5, sometimes 4.5, sometimes 5.5. I recommend every farmer to do once in your life or regularly a soil analysis because it's worth it. It doesn't cost too much and it's worth it. So what we are recommending small-scale farmers in Tanzania, and the majority of them, they will not do a soil analysis. What we are recommending to the farmers, to the farmers around us is dig a deep hole, 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter deep, add 3 buckets of manure and 3 kg of lime. But this is very basic. Yeah, if you have a proper soil analysis, you can always adjust it better. Just apple trees like quite neutral 6.5 to 7 pH. Then, John, your second question was about post-harvest losses. And for sure, a farmer is experiencing post-harvest losses. We on our farm, we're experiencing post-harvest losses. But the beauty of apples is that the shelf life is really long. In our cold room, we will have apples for 3 months without a problem. And for sales and for processing. But we have a cold room. If you do not have a cold room, you will be still able to keep your apples for quite some time. I mean, if you look, apples, if it is in Kampala, if it is in Nairobi, if it is in Dar es Salaam or Mombasa, someone is standing by the roadside selling apples and they're the whole day in the sun. Disclaimer, early maturing varieties, which you can produce in a more hotter climate, more climate resilience, the shelf life is shorter. You will see that in the online video. And now, John, your last question was about the extension service that Tamu is offering. And we are still very much in the process of developing that and expanding with what we are doing. we can, for example, not buy all the apples this year. We would have loved to, but our cold room, state-of-the-art cold room, just got finished. So we will most likely buy like a lot of apples. But yeah, we have not signed currently, finalized with hundreds of thousands of farmers contracts, because we still want to keep competition open, but it will come at some point. What I can tell you is what we are doing is selling a high quality product, standing to our commitment and our word, and publishing education online for free. That every farmer, every East African farmer is equipped with the tools to run a profitable business. And the knowledge that we are sharing is hard-headed commercial knowledge. Yeah. Anyway, John, I hope I was able to answer your question. Peter, I believe you are in the call. If you would like to add something regards soil preparation or where can I grow apples in East Africa, you always feel free, please, to come in. Otherwise, I will continue.
Thank you very much,
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, thank you very
Gabriel,
much for
read
those
out the next question.
Yes, thank you very much for those responses where you highlighted the significance of conducting soil analysis and the practices on handling post-harvest losses. So let me welcome Lydia for his question. Lydia, you have the floor.
Good morning, Gabriel.
Yes,
Hello.
Good morning, welcome.
I hope you can hear me, Gabriel.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. I have two concerns. It is about value addition of the apples that we harvest, and especially in the East African region, because we also grow them in Kenya. I am a farmer in a semi-arid region where they do very well. So I was wondering, what is it that farmers in this East African region and even in the continent of Africa can do to value add, instead of just picking the apples from the farm and just packaging them as they are, raw, just to the market? So what needs to be done to empower our farmers in the counties, because in Kenya we have counties, to ensure that we value add our products and that we are getting our products finished to the market, straight to the markets, where we don't have to involve brokers and middlemen. And the second question is about climate mitigation and adaptation. Since we know Africa, we are facing this challenge. So in TTT, how are you adapting to the climate? And also, how can farmers learn from you in other countries that are neighboring Tanzania in terms of climate adaptation and mitigation? Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. Very good questions. First thing is, before you think about processing and value addition, it comes about producing the right varieties. I guess you will have some apples which are a red, longer shape, if I'm not mistaken, which many in Kenya have, which is the variety Anna. And we have the variety Anna as well. It's a variety originated from Israel. And we are actually not selling Anna much, or let's say we are not advertising it much. We are just selling it as cross-pollinator because the shelf life is such short. Yeah, that means the shelf life is short, and they are actually not able, Lydia, as you as a farmer will have experience as well, to replace the South African imports. Because a small-scale farmer, someone with 200 trees, 100 trees, 1,000 trees, or 20 trees, they will not have a cold room, right? I don't know, Lydia, if you have a cold room, but the apples that you will harvest, you will have to sell them sharp. Otherwise, they're losing the crunch quite fast. So you see, I talked about the video early maturing varieties and late maturing varieties. Please look at the video online. The late maturing varieties, they're coming later into harvest. They definitely need more cold, but the shelf life, Lydia, is great. Like they're exactly like the South African ones, imported ones. Yeah, that's just that before you invest in agriculture, because every agriculture is capital intensive and farmers are always faced with the sales, think about the sales first before the production. But the production and the varieties you choose and the right location, Lydia, is important. Now, when it comes to processing and value addition, we are doing a Tamu Tamu dried apples, and which are nice. Yeah, like really a nice crunchy apple. You can do that in a solar dryer. And for everyone here, a solar dryer, there's enough knowledge online how to build one, which is not too difficult and not too cost intensive. But I want to say as well, we have now switched to an industrial dryer because we are getting a far more consistent quality and color of the product. It's more crunchy and nicer. So that means already some form of capital is again needed. When it comes to, Lydia, let's talk about juice and apple wine, apple cider. You need juicing equipment, which is not cheap. Not too expensive. You don't have to invest $100,000. You can get something for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 as well. Yeah, but still for a small scale farmer. But there as well, there are local methods how to make juice. And I want to tell everyone something encouraging. Making apple wine is not very difficult. Look up a YouTube video. Yeah, you need just very cheap material and you can make apple wine. And then we are currently working on an apple jam because we're producing strawberries and making other jams as well. And at the same time, and I don't know how you call it in English, apple compote, yeah, like in a jar, nicely cooked apples, 100% apple, nothing else added, no chemicals, nothing else. We are 100% organic, by the way. And yeah, I hope, Lydia, I was able to answer your question. Please, if you have further questions.
Yes, Gabriel, that was well tackled. The second one was on climate change mitigation. And I would also request that you share your presentation via our emails so that we get to understand the various varieties of the apples.
So please, Lydia, let me answer to your question. But like I said, all the information is on YouTube. You will find it there. And Lydia, if you're ever around in the Southern Highlands, Karibu Sana to the farm. Yeah, if you are a farmer or you have a broad network of farmers interested into actually doing apples properly, please come around. We are farmers, and we always say what we are doing in Tamu Tamu, Tanzania is from farmers for farmers. Now, when it comes to climate change adaptation, important question for everyone, because all of us will face a more heterogeneous climate, rain patterns, and so on, which are changing. I think number one, what we are doing is main thing is selling apple trees. We say selling apple trees because they're such unique in their climate adaptation and such unique in their sales. Number two, we are 100% organic. What we are doing, how we are treating the tree is all organic, locally sourceable. Number three, I talked about the dormancy of the tree. And number four is, sounds a bit ridiculous, but I'm very convinced of that, publishing as much education as possible for farmers to be well equipped with the knowledge. What is happening? How do I treat my apple tree? We have a WhatsApp group where we are posting every week 1 or 2 challenges a farmer is facing and how he can mitigate these challenges. Lydia, and like I said, welcome to the farm. And if you have further questions, please write us an email. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Okay, thank you very much, Lydia. Thank you very much, David. You've just highlighted the significance of building solar dryer and making apple wine, which does not require expensive investment. Also, the presentation will be shared. Just put your name, introduce yourself and put your name in the chat box so that we can share with you the relevant link. Okay, without wasting much of the time, let me welcome John. John, you have the permission to use the mic. Please go on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, David and Gabriel. The presentation was very good. Unlike maybe other participants, me, I'm an aspiring to start apple farming in central Kenya. I had raised it with David yesterday, actually. My altitude is quite high, 2,600 meters above sea level on the Aberdares, and very cold. At the night, it is around an average of 6 degrees Celsius. During the day, maximum 22 degrees Celsius. That's in Nyandarua. Now, so I need that guidance maybe on the best varieties. And then secondary, because it's an investment, I want to do it as an investment. On the income expectations, maybe that was also very important on the projections that maybe per acre. We need to know it maybe in what to expect as a farmer, so that even as we put this capital intensive work on our farm, then we know what exactly is going to come in. Apple farming in Kenya is extremely new. It has not been there. We have only been growing potatoes and cabbages and maize here. So these are new thing. And maybe also, David, since you are in Tanzania, maybe could you be having a farm in Kenya, maybe which is a little bit nearer, that we can benchmark with? Maybe you can also guide on that one. But we also not so much. We also ready maybe to visit your farm one day. Maybe those guidances for a new farmer, what to expect, and even on those varieties. I mean, on those climatic conditions. That's the guidance we need. But I think we're even going to be having more, communication on this. And thank you very much for this webinar. We are learning a lot, and thank you again. Maybe you can answer those ones. Thank you.
Thanks for your interest, guys. Number one, John, your location is perfect. I want to sell your apple trees. You will make far more money with producing apples and selling apples when whatever kind of crop you're producing. 2,600 meters altitude, mwah, I can sell you all our varieties. Number two, just for your information, John, there have been some trials and some players who are producing apples and apple trees already since in Uganda or in Kenya. And you have here some people who have some local varieties of apples. But yeah, when it comes to commercial production, not like home gardening, when it comes to commercial production, I can say that we are the only ones around the equator in East Africa who are selling a well-grafted apple tree, which will bring you high per hectare returns. That's about that. Now, John, when it comes to the business case, you were talking about how is the cash flow statement looking like? How is the capital intensity, operational expenses, and what kind of money am I making at the end? And for the commercial agriculture side, we have published our business case because we know the parameters quite well, but investing in commercial apple production is really capital intensive. So that is the reason we are, for most small and medium enterprises, we are recommending conventional planting, which is 3x3. And now, John, you know, always as a farmer, it's a different if you are taking your apple and you're selling it to a trader, if you're taking your apple and you bring it to your neighboring village, or if you're somewhere in Nairobi on the road and selling an apple yourself. Yeah, so I want to encourage, John, you have to set up a business case, and which is just, what do you need to prepare your soil? Planting apple trees. Then many farmers and small medium enterprises in East Africa and in Sub-Saharan Africa are actually owned by families. Do you count in your family labor as if you would have staff employed? So on the cost side, it's so heterogeneous that everyone has to identify themselves. When it comes now to the income, the cash flow side, yeah, I want you to consider. I said, and we are very confident about that, you will harvest with our trees over 100,000 apples per acre. But all of us are in the farming space, and all of us know that selling it myself in the village, selling it to a trader who brings it to Kampala, Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, or I'm bringing it myself is a very different game. Yeah, so John, that's a bit on you. Are you able to justify cold storage? Are you able to justify buying a small truck? Are you able to do the logistics themselves? Do you have middlemen involved who are taking a cut? Yeah, so I think you get what I'm saying, right?
I get it, David.
Nice. Thanks a lot, John. Yeah, I hope I was able to answer all your questions. We have a business case, John, published online.
Yes.
That's for commercial production. That is a lot of money needed, to be honest. Yeah. But
Yeah,
just think about what do you pay for a tree? How much do you need to prepare your soil? How much do you pay for a stuff? If one person takes care of an acre, then during harvest season, you need to hire more people, and so on and so on.
Okay, thank you. Maybe the last one was on whether you have a partner farm in Kenya, which is a little bit maybe near where we are, and you can benchmark with even as that preparation for the land.
We do not have currently a branch in Kenya, or we do not currently have a partner in Kenya, but we're getting a lot of requests. People who are approaching us and saying, hey, I want to be a distributor, or hey, I want to buy 10,000 apple trees as a trial. Yeah, there are people in Kenya who are doing agriculture on 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 hectares, and 10,000 trees is still a trial for them. So John, we will work on having a distributor. We will work, maybe there will be in the coming years, a Tamu Tamu branch in Uganda and in Kenya and so on. But for now, this year and next year, all tree exports is going via us. Yeah, and it's either that someone is buying just 100, 200 trees, and then they're saying, okay, let me come down myself, and I'm buying them and I'm picking them up, or a bigger player who buys 2,000, 3,000 trees. They're organizing their own truck to come down from Nairobi or so. And everyone who's from Nigeria, DRC, Cameroon, Ethiopia, it's via air freight on a pallet. And to be honest, that's quite expensive. Need to be cold stored. So we're actually from countries who are not neighboring countries with Tanzania and sharing a border. We do not recommend a procurement below 500 pieces, as air freight charges are so high. Yeah, I hope I was able to answer your question. And for everyone here,
thank you, David. Yes.
And everyone who is interested in buying apple trees, yeah, you are lucky. We are currently selling a tree for export, ex-Farmgate, for $6 this year. Yeah, but we are closing actually orders in 11 days for this year's export. So everyone had to make a 50% down payment for their trees. The trees, they have already been produced in January, and they will be ready for shipment end of July. We guarantee before 31st of July, but the tree will be in a dormancy state, and we send it bare rooted. And it will be a big tree, like over a meter, with already a lot of branches. Like it's really a high quality product. Yeah. Anyway, John, all the best. Yeah, and please come around to the farm and visit it yourself. Gabriel, next question.
Thank you very much. I'll have time to visit the southern part of Tanzania. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Thank you very much, John, for your question. Now let me welcome Okwi Dennis. Okwi Dennis, you have permission to use your mic. Please go on.
Okay. Oh, good morning, David and the team that are listening online. My name is Dennis Okwir. I'm from Uganda. I'd been trying to do farming apple, but the challenge I'd been getting is that to get the genuine seedling, because you said I always said I need this variety, but they end up giving me a poor variety that does not support our land, because we are in northern Uganda where the climate is very hot, and I would say when it is humidity at least is at 18 degrees, but when it is worse is at 30 or 28. Now I wanted to inquire from you, can I be in a position to import the seedling from Kenya or from where you are, from Tanzania, where you have the genuine seedling? Thank you.
Okay, Dennis, you can import straight from us to Uganda, but
yes,
if you are in a hot area, we do not recommend investments in commercial apple production. Then if someone tells you can produce apples everywhere, like I said, we want to differentiate between you can produce apples and you can do it commercially, because you always, as an agriculture entrepreneur, as an investor, you have to benchmark your investment. And agriculture is tough, guys. All of us know that. Capital intensive. Takes a lot of time till you start getting some money. And influenced by political factors, by the weather, and so on. So agriculture is not an easy game. Dennis, I don't know if you're around Gulu or in the land of the Karajamoja.
I'm in Lira. I'm in Lira.
Okay, so Dennis, if you want to go into apple production, yeah, and we're getting a lot of requests from people in hotter areas who are coming and saying, I want to buy 10,000 apple trees. And if you are in a climate which is not above 1,000 meter altitude, 1,200, 1,500 meters altitude, we tell everyone, please just buy 500. Buy 500, learn with them, and confirm that apple production is worth it. After 2 years, via pictures and so on, we can confirm, okay, you know what, that makes sense. We can advise you to invest in apple production. But before that, please use your money for something better. And with what we are doing, with what our farmers are facing, or what we are facing, hey, we are facing challenges as well, yeah? We want to be completely transparent. When I'm saying we want to establish a new level of professionalism in agriculture, which means we are not posting on LinkedIn our success stories. We are posting as well where we F up, which is happening to us as well. Yeah. So everyone who is interested now after this course says, apple production is so great, let me do it. If you write us an email, please be specific with your location, your altitude, how far are you away from the point of sale, from the market, your water source, and what are you currently doing? Yeah, takes us a lot of time, saves us a lot of time with back and forth. Anyway, Dennis, write us an email and we will very honestly, we will tell you what varieties we advise for you, or we'll tell you in a very honest and transparent way, Dennis, put your money into something else. Next question, please.
Okay, thank you, Dennis, for that question. I hope it has been addressed. So for those who are writing their questions in the chat, we have experts who are responding. So we encourage participants to also put their questions and comments in the chat, and they will be addressed. So now let me welcome Newton. Newton, please go on.
Hi, David. Sorry, I joined a bit late. So in case I asked something that I already touched on, my apologies. I was just wondering whether there are plans to work with other regional players, for example, Wambugu apples, for research and also to come up with better varieties that are better suited for this region. And also, do you sell local varieties? For example, the aforementioned Wambugu apples or other local varieties that have been developed in the region. Thank you.
Newton, I have seen you wrote some questions in the chat, which I have answered. I will not dive into them. Yeah, but you will find all answers on YouTube, just that you know. And we definitely will work with a lot of stakeholders all over East Africa. If it is governments, if it is investors, if it is NGOs, because we believe what we are doing is amazing. And we would like to share that with everyone involved in farming, not just apples, doing farming based on commercial viable knowledge. Yeah? No nonsense, hard-headed commercial solutions and thoughts. And we will not sell Newton local varieties. In Tanzania, we have sold this year still trees at a discount for $4, $5. For export, we are selling this year $6, which is for all of you a total discount price, just that you know. Every rootstock that the tree is grafted on is imported from Europe via cold storage, is producing it for 6 months, a tree, and so on and so on. And the research and the development that we have put into it in the last 6 years is super expensive. But number one, Newton, we will not reduce the product quality, because if you're an investor, you're actually not asking what does it cost. Sure, we're all cost conscious. You're asking what are you getting, and I can tell you that what you're getting from Tamu Tamu you don't get somewhere else. With our rootstock, with the research and development that we have done, and I just see that my that my business partner Peter has just wrote, it's not a seedling, and it's true. An apple tree is not a seedling. You know how we produce an avocado seedling? We produce it from a seed. An apple tree you produce differently. We use rootstock, and then you graft, and then we're grafting from one of our high-performing varieties onto it. Takes a lot of money, takes a lot of time, is not easy to produce it. Like a high-quality apple tree is not easy to produce it. But yeah, when we see the farmers around us harvesting apples, and like really trees full of apples, it's absolutely worth it. Yeah. Okay, anyway, next, I hope Newton, I was able to answer your question. Like I said, everything you will find online on YouTube, from varieties, harvest expectations, where can I grow apples, is in Swahili and in English online. We will do French and whatever kind of stuff soon as well. But yeah, please bear with me when I'm not responding to the questions which have been repetitive. And let's move forward. I hope that's okay, Newton. Thanks for your question.
Yes, it is, David, and I'll surely look you up online. It's the first time hearing about Tamu Tamu apple. Very interesting. I'll see what you have online. Thank you.
Karibu sana to the farm. Anyway, Gabriel, next question.
Thank you very much here for that question. We still have room for questions because our agenda shows that we still have time. Our first session goes up to 12 p.m. So I encourage people to ask as many questions as they can. So, okay. Anyone else?
Okay, so see, when I'm going through the chat, I already see quite a lot of questions. But anyway, then Gabriel, please give over to whoever is raising their hand, and then we do it 101.
Okay, Moses has the mic. Please go on.
Thank you, David. Moses, I'm actually working at TABC. Thank you for your presentation. Just to have quick question, can you intercrop apple with other crops? I understand other crops like coffee you can do with bananas. So can you do intercropping? Is there any crop that you can intercrop with the apple? Thank you.
So when it comes, before we are talking to other tree crops, yeah, I can tell you that the most small-scale farmer and medium enterprises, they are planting apple trees, 450 per acre. And in the first 2, 3, 4 years, they are anyway planting maize, pumpkin, beans, whatever in between. Yeah, because the apple tree comes properly, commercially into production in year 3, year 4. When it comes to intercropping with banana and coffee, I actually would like to pass that question to my colleague, Peter. Peter, are you there with us and can reply to that question? If you could do so, then please unmute yourself. Gabriel, see if my partner Peter Schurz is here in the chat, and if he is, if that's possible for him to unmute himself. Did you give him allowance? I think so. Okay, Peter, please. Yep.
Okay, here's the mic now.
Peter, we cannot hear you. You have to unmute yourself. And then the question was regards intercropping with other tree crops. Maybe Gabriel, I think you can unmute him yourself as well.
I gave him a permission to use the mic, but I think he dropped. I don't see. Let me find it.
Yeah, maybe it's sometimes the internet. All of us who are in a farming environment know that sometimes internet can be a challenge. Otherwise, Moses, we come back to the question with intercropping with other.
I'm here now, David.
Pete.
Okay, so in terms of intercropping, while some of the smallholder farmers that we deal with do it, it's not something that I would recommend. I would actually prefer to see farmers intercropping with a range of legume-based or pasture-type crops, legume-based crops, something that will provide some soil fertility enhancement, because you will run the risk that you're going to have competition for soil, water and soil nutrients between whatever intercrop you're growing and the apple trees themselves. So I think that while the temptation is there, particularly while the trees are young, to intercrop with something, the risk you run is that you're going to compromise the potential of those apple trees to develop as quickly and as fully as you want them to develop, so that they're able to start producing apples for you as a revenue stream as fast as possible. So yes, the temptation's there to do it. My advice is to resist that temptation as much as you possibly can. Thanks, David.
I hope, Moses, that was replying and answering to your question. All agriculture-related questions, yes. Peter is definitely the best person to answer. Peter, you have seen a lot of... Peter, you have... Please, whoever has the mic on, please mute yourself there. Peter, you have seen a lot of questions, agriculture-related, in the chat. If it is regards diseases, challenges with birds, which we are definitely facing, and other questions. Would you like to give a few words from an agriculture point of view? Because I feel many people who are here are from universities, NGOs, investor side, but a lot of people here are actually real farmers. So maybe, Peter, you could say a few words about that.
Sure. So I'm just scanning down through some of the questions that have been asked from a technical point of view. We certainly experienced some problems here at our own farm with birds. Possibly just as big an issue we have is because we're surrounded by a lot of native Miombo bushland here still. We also have problems with, believe it or not, bush babies that come into our orchard of a night time and will also feed on some of the fruit. The reality is that, yes, we get some losses as a result of things like birds, insect damage, bush babies, and we have to just accept that we will get those losses. As we move towards doing, in our own situation, some value addition, hopefully we're able to minimise the extent of those losses, or at least take that damaged fruit and turn it into something to which we can add some value. Now, excuse me, that's not going to be something that every single farmer can do, but it's just something that I guess we would say comes with the territory. You're just going to have to accept that you will get some of those losses. Because we subscribe to organic or natural farming principles, we certainly do also have to accept a greater level of damage to fruit than might happen if we were throwing a lot of chemicals and chemical control of various, perhaps insect pests, for example, at the crop. So again, that's a farming practice that we have elected to adopt, and we will just accept that we will have perhaps some increased losses along the way as a result of that. I'm looking through some more of the technical questions. We've covered the birds eating issues. I'm just seeing what else is here that I can cover.
Peter, maybe.
Yes, I've mentioned. Yes, David.
Maybe, Peter, what else, we have such a well-interested audience here. Yeah, I believe that knowledge about organic and regenerative agriculture practices is still quite something we more to develop with my East African brothers and sisters. So many people, including me, before meeting you, Peter, actually thought, okay, organic farming means I don't use chemicals, and maybe I can certify myself and get a better sales price. But I want to believe there is, besides the ecological, there is the social and the economic perspective and component to that as well. Maybe, I hope that everyone who is in this call here is actually interested to hear, what does regenerative farming practices mean? What does it mean for soil health, productivity, and what you are, and I know you're always straightforward and honest with what you advise. Do you advise, it's not, you cannot say easy like, hey, I'm recommending organic farming, but what are you advising actually when it comes to regenerative farming practices? Peter, the mic is on you.
So what we're doing is, here at our own Shamba, we're moving to a system that I would describe as a higher, like more regenerative. So we are in the process of establishing a diverse range of pasture species within the orchard. So in the rows, or the inter-row space between the rows where the trees are, we are looking to establish a multi-species, diverse pasture base comprising as many as 10 or 15 different species of plants that will grow in a mixed pasture sward. And then we intend to introduce grazing animals, which potentially could be sheep. We obviously have to protect the trees from, while they're young, from sheep damaging those. So that will be something that we perhaps will use electric fencing, but also to introduce a concept we call chicken tractors. And that will be mobile coops with small numbers of chickens in each one, which we will move regularly throughout each day. And so that we will get those chickens. So it's an additional enterprise cash flow, additional cash flow. Those chickens will graze on those mixed species pastures. They will, their waste will be recycled back into the soil, and that will provide additional fertility to our apple trees growing in the rows. So we're looking at a system of agriculture that increases a greater range of diversity because the more diversity we have above the ground, the more diversity and the richer the soil we're going to have below the ground. And ultimately, the productivity that we will generate from our apple trees and from the apple crop is all about having greater diversity in the soil in terms of the microbiology in the soil. And the way we do that is to have greater diversity above the ground. So that's essentially what regenerative agriculture is about, in my mind, is trying to replicate a natural system while at the same time take advantage of that in terms of crop production. In this case, we're talking apples. So let me just encourage you and the listeners that we don't want to have a system that's just apple trees. We want to have a system that has a large degree of diversity. And interestingly, here in the Southern Highlands, we're seeing that across a range of different farming enterprises, that farmers are increasingly aware of the importance of having a soil that is alive with microbiology. And the way you bring that soil to life with microbiology is to increase the diversity of what happens above the ground. So let me just encourage everyone that that's the way forward, I believe. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Increasingly, many farmers across the world, not just in this area, but across the world, are recognizing the importance of doing that.
Thank you very much, Peter. Yeah, Gabriel, if it is okay, I will just continue with moderating. Yeah, okay, I will just continue. Yeah, thanks a lot, Peter. I think that was really nice knowledge and then encouraging words. Amon, about conditions of apples, soil pH, and water, late maturing, and so on varieties. Please, guys, we have already covered that. You can see it all on YouTube. Peter, there's the question: are there any requirements on water quality?
I probably need a little bit more detail about what they mean by water quality. Obviously, if you have water that is saline or water that is highly sodic or something like that, yes, that's a challenge. I would probably just like to have a little bit more information about what are they referring to in terms of water quality.
Okay, next question is, someone likes the idea of pastures in rows between apple trees. What other cover crops than pastures would you advise? And I want to, maybe you can give a bit of background on that.
So I would be any other crops. So if we're talking, again, if you're going to look at a cash crop, something that you're going to harvest grain from, or beans or something like that, look, beans would be a better option than growing maize, for example, if you are intent on having a crop growing between the rows of apple trees, and you wanted to have some sort of cash crop from that. Beans are going to be a better option. First of all, they use less water than what a maize crop's going to use. Secondly, they do actually provide some benefit in terms of some nitrogen input back into the system. And they're not going to be as aggressive in terms of taking nutrients away from your apple trees. So if it's a toss-up, or if you're weighing up between growing maize or growing beans, for example, then my advice would be, well, grow beans. I would actually prefer to see you growing some sort of a pasture cover crop species that recycled everything back into the, rather than harvesting something and taking it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Now we have already covered a lot of questions. Many questions are repetitive. Yeah, please, everyone who has still open questions about where can I grow apples and so on, please look online. Yeah, we will be selling, as Tamu Tanzania, we will be selling apple trees to many African countries. And but we encourage everyone, please, to make an informed decision. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Make a small business case, please, before you invest in something. Doesn't matter if it is apple farming or real estate. Yeah. Besides that, I want to believe we have covered most of the questions. I see that Daniel Nguthi, sorry, Daniel, if I'm not pronouncing your name very well, still has his hand raised. Please either write in the chat, yes, I still have a question and I would like to raise it, or that was already answered. If it was not answered, then please unmute your mic and ask the question.
Thank you, David. I don't think we've spoken about it yet. My name is Daniel Mugo from Kenya. I know nothing about trees. I have begun my curiosity journey all the way to becoming a farmer. What I would like to know is, have you used artificial intelligence as a tool within apple farming? And in your research, what do you see as the future correlation between artificial intelligence and apple farming? What do you see maybe in the future just from what you've been able to do? Thank you very much.
Maybe Peter, I can say something regards that before you would like to add something to it. Daniel, besides me using ChatGPT to work and maybe some other AI tools, we have not implemented at our farm AI in any form. I believe large corporations, like everyone on every level, can benefit from artificial intelligence and should actually once watch a YouTube video, hey, how can I use artificial intelligence in my everyday life? Because if you're a farmer or not, there are a lot of smart and good tools about it. But Daniel, I see for many small and medium enterprises and for many small scale farmers, many other challenges before actually implementing AI strategies. There are many fancy tools and many people want to sell you something, but to see the real usage of something, I am still to see it. And Daniel, I'm gladly proven wrong that there are already amazing things which can help small scale farmers. I just, in my experience, see that small scale farmers and small and medium enterprises, they have many more other things on their plate before thinking about implementing AI on their own farm. Yeah, just that you know, it will come and it will help all of us. If it is, when it comes to digital strategies, yeah, everyone here who is listening is somehow involved in business, a business owner or a commercial person. I can definitely look into using an ERP system, which is an enterprise resource planning system. And you don't have to use something super expensive and pricey, but I would already, all of you can Google it, ERP, to implement that. We are just in the process. Yeah, Daniel, we are very much in the process of getting things done and professionalizing and scaling up. But I am not skilled enough to know, I do not know enough about AI in agriculture. I just see that in my commercial environment, there are more important things to do for farmers before actually thinking about these things. Yeah, I'm not skilled enough, Daniel, to give you an answer to that. And we haven't used anything. I hope I was able to give you a somehow qualified answer. Maybe Peter, you want to add something?
Yeah, I will. Thanks, David. Daniel, I grew up on a multi-generation family farm in Australia. And my grandfather impressed upon me from a very young age, and it's one of the things that has stuck with me throughout my farming life, is that the best fertilizer a farmer can apply is his footprints in the field. I actually, and maybe I'm old school here, but I subscribe very strongly to the fact that by far the best thing that a farmer can do is spend time in his field, time in his crops, and observe with his own eyes or her own eyes what's actually happening in the field, and observe from day to day and week to week and month to month and year to year. I think that artificial intelligence is a long way off being able to replicate that to the extent that the farmer can. And so, and again, as David said, maybe I'm happy to stand corrected at some time in the future. But for now, we certainly don't have any great desire to be bringing any level of artificial intelligence to bear with what we're doing here. So that's my $1 worth in terms of contributing to that, answering that question.
Peter, I'll take your grandfather's advice. Thank you very much. I will put the best manure on my farm. Thank you.
Nice one.
Yeah,
Okay. Nice one. Peter, there's a question from Joaquin. We have some farmers using low quart trees as rootstock, low quart trees for apples when grafting. Is this advisable? I mean, yeah, Peter, you can reply to that. I'm sure that no one will have similar results or a real commercial entity without proper rootstock, but maybe you can reply to that.
Okay, so a locust is a completely different species to an apple. In all honesty, I'm not aware of that ever working or being successful, but maybe again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. What we've done here at Tamatama is identify a particular rootstock that is very well adapted to the environment that tends to prevail here, at least in the Tanzanian context, and that is that we have soils that are acidic in pH. We are catering to predominantly smallholder farmers who do not have the cash flow to apply lots and lots of fertilizer and provide a high fertility environment in which the trees can grow. Often they don't even have the cash flow to put on the rates of lime that are required to improve soil pH up to a level that we would consider ideal for apple production. And typically they don't have the cash flow available to spend a lot of money on irrigation infrastructure. So we have worked very hard to identify a particular rootstock that we import, as David said, from Europe, that is as tolerant as possible of low soil pH or acidic soils, is as tolerant as possible of a relatively infertile soil, is as tolerant as possible of drought conditions or low soil moisture at a critical time.
Okay, Peter is gone. I don't hear him anymore. Daniel, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so it seems like we're still here. Peter is gone. Sorry, internet challenges are always there. I mean, we are happy to see that what we are advising is slowly ripening into fruit. Haha, small joke. No, when we are getting interviewed, you know, now a lot of journalists, TV channels, whoever come to our farm, we are, sometimes it feels like I'm more often on TV than actually in the office. No, when they're asking us about the biggest challenge we have, I always say it's humans. We can advise a farmer what to do, how to do something, but I think all of us know that farmers are stubborn. And I can advise something to someone, and if they're following it is a different question. We are happy to see that the customers that we have in Tanzania, yeah, who bought 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, and now actually have trees full of apples, And some of them we were able to convince to say, hey, you know what? You bought 200 trees. It's okay if you don't want to treat all your 200 trees, and we are advising it, at least try it with 10. Now that they are seeing the difference and they're seeing the trust, that they're saying, hey, Tamu, these guys really know what they're doing. Now the trust is coming. That's a nice feeling. Like that's something really nice. That's beautiful to see. So now if we are recommending a farmer, please dig a deep hole. Please put some agricultural lime. Please add manure. Actually, farmers are doing it. Yeah, so but it has been a long process to actually gain the farmers' trust. Yeah, and in general, introducing apple farming, like commercial apple farming, to East African farmers has not been, and I'm quite straightforward, has not been an easy road, because all of us know farmers. They're suspicious. They're conservative investors. They first want to see actually what their neighbor is doing. So convincing people, hey, yes, you can produce the South African type apples in Kenya, in Uganda, in Rwanda, whatever, Tanzania. It was a tough job. It was a tough job. It was not enough that we have published a business case online, yeah, and say, hey, this is twice as profitable as what you're currently doing with this and these trees. No, it was very much needed that we are selling apple trees for a very affordable price. And then actually now, 1 or 2 or 3 years later, we see that everyone, like almost everyone who bought trees in the past, is now coming and buying again. We call it a first conservative purchase, when someone is not sure, hey, is this true? They're buying 50 trees, they're buying 100 trees, or just 20. They're planting it, and after already 1 year, 2 years, they actually see the trees performing, and then they say, okay, now let me expand commercially. Yeah, anyway, guys, it has been a long session. It has been a long session. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm feeling my throat is starting to hurt after so many questions. Joachim, how do you get the trees in Kenya? I already explained. Write us an email, describe your farm. You have to make a down payment, and that till 10th of March, because then we are closing the orders for this year's exports. Then you have to wait till next year again. Yeah, anyway, write us an email, and if you're ready to make a down payment, we can discuss it then. Anyway, I hope this was exciting for everyone. I hope you feel not just encouraged to say, hey, let me try this apple farming. I hope you feel encouraged as well to treat farming as a serious business, which starts on paper with a pen and ends, which, as Peter said, leaving the best fertilizer, your footprint in the field. Yeah, we're always saying, don't be an M-Pesa farmer or a WhatsApp farmer. Don't think you get easily and quick rich with farming. It's just not the case. But yeah, it's great, fulfilling, and it's nice to produce healthy food for my fellow people. And currently, which is I think interesting for everyone, and the Tanzanian colleagues here in the group will know it, we are buying apples from farmers. This is the highest selling crop from their farm. We are putting on our margin for cold storage. We have to make a profit as well, and so on. And we are selling half the price of the imported ones. And the quality is the same or better, and they are organic. Yeah, so it's fascinating. Anyway, guys, please, if you are ever in the area, in the Iringa area, we are about 4 to 5 hours away from Dodoma. Please pass by the farm. Maybe call us before. Yeah, but we are Monday to Friday. We are always open, and we are happy to see visitors. We have nothing to hide and a lot to share. Okay, I see one more raised hand. One more raised hand. There was something not
Yeah,
answered.
just a minute. I give him allow his mic. Okay, you can go.
Okay, I see. Hello, David. Can TTT buy apples from Burundi? Sibo Goya, why do you want to sell apples to me? Why don't you want to sell them yourself? I mean, Burundi is, how many people are living in the capital? I don't know, 1 million something, 2 million? I don't know. Yeah, but the capital cannot be too far away from wherever is your farm. Harvesting your apples, putting your apples in boxes, and then bringing it to the point of sale and selling it with traders. I mean, number one, Burundi is currently too far away from us. Yeah, I'm straightforward with you. We will this year not buy any apples from Burundi. Like I said, I don't know what is happening in the coming years, because we are just growing so fast and so many exciting things are happening. But yeah, currently we will not buy apples from Burundi. And Sibo Goye, sorry if I pronounced the name wrongly, I strongly advise you to think about a value chain plan. What do I produce? How much do I produce? How much will I produce when? And when, how do I sell it and bring it to the market, and what will be the profit? I hope that answered your question. Okay. I think that was it. I gave my final words and said thank you very much to everyone. Yeah, besides that, I already said thank you. Okay, guys, let me turn on my mic, my camera, and say thanks to all of you. Really nice to have so many great minds interested about something new, because what I think is, in my personal opinion, Peter as well, sad in farming is that many people just do copy paste whatever their neighbor is doing. Don't do stupid decisions which are not based on knowledge and data and proper research. But besides, don't be an M-Pesa WhatsApp farmer. One of our major advisors for farmers, and Peter and I, we are combining 100 years of knowledge in agriculture business. Don't do what everyone else is doing. And that's a big advice from Peter and me. Yeah, do apples, don't do apples, whatever. Yeah, whatever you're doing, I recommend agriculture entrepreneurs to look at the niche. If you're not a company who is setting up production on 500 hectares with millions of dollars, you will never be the person who is determining the price. If you're producing a commodity, you are not determining the price. It will be dictated to you by the market. You cannot make your brand, your logo or whatever well on it. And you are more likely to be affected by political decisions, for example. Yeah. Kenneth, I have seen you would like to visit our farm. Information is on Google Maps, and we are on Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, with training videos and whatever kind of stuff. Peter, I think we have answered everything. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think that was everything. Guys, Gabriel, can we more or less end the Q&A session then?
Yes, thank you very much, David and Peter, for those insights, and thank you everyone for your questions on the first session. I hope that the questions has been addressed. And if you have any other question, please put it in the chat, because we are now closing Q&A session for the first session. Now let us move on to the second session on Agro B2B networking. Brian or Tim, if you're on the call. Sorry, everyone. Just give us 2 minutes for Brian to log in. Okay, welcome, Brian. The floor is yours. Brian, can you hear us?
Yes, I get you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Please welcome.
All right, great. Great. So right now I'm going to make a presentation. Just allow me share a screen with us so I can demonstrate. Hello. Hello, Patrick.
Brian,
do I
we
have
can hear you.
admin? Yes. Do I have admin rights to share? I'm casting a screen and it's not showing.
Yes, Brian, you're saying you don't have the right to share?
I am sharing the screen. Are we able to view the screen?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Well, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, allow me convey warm greetings from Kampala and the team here at Sonnet that I will speak on behalf of during this engagement. Well, perhaps to briefly introduce myself, my name is our team Brian Joseph, the lead at Sonnet, where we do work with a competent team in serving clients such as the EABC in building and scaling digital solutions. And in a nutshell, Sonnet is a software company that offers software development services and specialized IT consultancy services for organizations alike. And under this specific assignment, we successfully developed a game-changing digital platform in the agriculture industry that is revolutionizing agro-based trades for various commodities, right from enabling access to agro markets, B2B agro investment opportunities, and profiling these market opportunities, as well as enabling access in closing gaps to these market opportunities in real time. And so just to give a brief about the market overview that we thought would help, that would take advantage of this digital platform. Well, the Agro B2B digital platform enjoys a strategic advantage that boasts of an addressable target market of over 300 million customers across the EAC region and under the AFCFTA. But also it gives us and the farmers an opportunity to be able to sell and source for produce across the globe, because we believe that this is a digital space that is an addition to the global village, and the benefits that we give to the farmers not only just limit them to the local jurisdictions or the countries of their operation, but we give them an international audience where they're able to source for the best products under the B2B directory, but also to be able to sell and market their products and companies that they operate with. And so our platform addresses solution for farmers, businesses, and customers. If you might allow me, just demonstrate a little further some of the opportunity features, the key features that we have onto this platform. The first key feature that we have is the Agro B2B directory. If I click, let me click on off these pages, and just so I can explain more clearly what each of these segments means. So the first feature that we have is the investment opportunities in the agro value chains. So under this, we go ahead and segment each of these crop profiles to say that if someone is interested in the edible oil value chain, what opportunities are there that they can, align themselves to? If someone is into the wheat grain value chain, segment, how do we help them position themselves to the opportunities that underline that specific value chain? And so for us, it's a more comprehensive platform that gives us some bit of detail to how farmers out there or people that have specific interests in the agro value chain space to take advantage of. And so some of the benefits that we have for the farmers: one, there's access to genuine seedlings and fertilizers. I've been following this discussion closely, and this has really stood out as something that's very key, that people have bought seedlings that are not either of the best quality or that are just a fake type, that has not only affected, yielded no results, but it has caused them loss, and it has also caused maybe the damage to their soils. And so for us, we are saying that we want to have a platform where we profile these companies that are selling genuine products. It might not only be products in seedlings or the agro chain, but we also want to have products, maybe if it is a mechanical product, or if it is an agricultural tool, or if it is an agricultural related component that's positioned to give some bit of value to the farmer at the end of the journey. The second benefit is that we have access to market opportunities for their produce. Like I said, the platform has a strategic advantage of over 500 million customers. This is under the ESC, the East African Community Arrangement, that enjoys the advantage of the Common Markets Protocol, where people are able to move with their goods and services across the region. And this does not leave out alone the farmers in this case. Maybe something we also need to be aware of is that once you have your produce, there is a tariff waiver. I think EABC can guide on this information in detail, but there is a waiver on the tariff for the goods produce that you move between the ESC partner states, provided that they have proper documentation. And so for us, our task is not just only to profile these opportunities or show you the benefits, but we are saying that we want to walk the journey with you. That if you are interested in, let's say, moving your Sim, or if it is a cashew nut from, let's say, Tanzania into Rwanda, we want to encourage the farmers out there, to all the players, distributors, manufacturers, to interest EABC in any kind of trade, or especially where you feel like you need challenge, or you need some technical support advice on how to go about your trade. And that's one of our key areas of concern. The third benefit is the increased visibility and reach for their products. That of each detail, like each profile, you're able to list some of the products that you sell as an organization. You're able to sell some of the services that you're selling as an organization. And through this, you're simply not only selling your profile as a company or as a farmer, but you are positioning your products out there for the right market that is trading off a trusted platform. Then the other benefit that we have for the businesses, one, for example, the team at Tamu Tamu that is interested in that has positioned itself as a key player in selling genuine seedlings of the apple, the different apple crops. This is a platform that they can take advantage of. And one thing that we guarantee to the supplier or to the person buying on the other side is that your interests are secured as a farmer, saying that in the event of any variation in quality or a substandard product being delivered, that you have a fallback plan and you have an entity that is going to move this journey with you in seeing to ensure that you are getting a genuine product. Okay, and so that is just part of the benefit of the farmers, that there is also an opportunity to explore investment prospects in financing, contract financing opportunities, and all these other opportunities that support your growth of your business. Then the third segment we have of is the benefits to that we have off to the customers. One, we, like I emphasized, we give them access to genuine agro products for consumption or commercial. So for example, if someone is interested in buying sesame products, they'll be able to have this information. So what I'm displaying is just some of, just a brief layout. Now this is a business, it's called Cyprus Consulting. They recently also profiled onto the platform. So it's just a random profile that I'm sharing with you, sorry. So under this, we have a bookmark, so someone can bookmark your account or your profile to ensure that each time you publish a service or you post a good or service, they get an update in real time. So there is an option of call now. So through this, your customers can be able to reach on phone. This is all an inbuilt feature. We have a B2B instant chat, so someone can initiate a conversation off the platform that is private between you and the business. Then they can also send an email. They can leave a review after doing a business with you. Then we also made it possible that they can share your business profile with other customers that they believe can take advantage of the services that you provide. And so for us, from the time we launched Office Service, I'd like to give a brief case study. We've seen a growth in the number of companies that have profiled off here. Currently, we have over 80 companies that have profiled in the last 3 weeks from the time it was the platform was launched. And for us, this has really demonstrated a very organic kind of growth for the platform. And I want to encourage each one of us attending this meeting to create an account with this platform. We'll be on the back to give you any kind of support, organizing your profile and all that. What we simply ask of you is to start on the process of profiling. Currently, the platform has about 70 people that have registered successfully and profiled their businesses, but we have over 150 that are in the waiting that we are supporting in creating their platform account profiles. So like I said, this is a journey that we walk with you in profiling your businesses, in helping you, reach your end-to-end with your customers. In the event that you need any support with documentation, or in the event that you've started executing, your trade and you're encountering any challenges, our task is very clear that we want to walk this journey with you, and we'll be giving you support. So given the kind of growth that we are experiencing, we believe that the game is in numbers. It's about building networks. It's about building relevance. And as we all strive towards improving our yields, our crop quality, our harvest quality, it's also very important for us to look at the side of the market, because it's one thing having a product that is ready for harvest, but lacks no market, or you don't have the ready market. This is why we have incidences of people exploiting, the farmers, middlemen coming in to take advantage. But we are saying that as your crop is in the garden, as you are planning your seasons, we want to position this platform as a go-to place to help you find the right kind of fit along your chain. And so maybe I'll before I invite any questions, people that might have any questions to ask, allow me just emphasize that all of us need to sign up onto this platform. It's a feature-rich platform. It has information. It has agro investment profiles. It has agro market opportunities in real time. For those that are seeking maybe funding, I've seen EABC has posted some 1 or 2 opportunities on financing on agro-based financing. So this is a go-to platform that I'd really encourage each one of us to register. And I emphasize the importance of embracing digital innovation for sustainable agro trade. Someone asked about AI, how it has been incorporated, in farming around the Apple chain. And for me, it's something that I interested myself on because it shows that there is an understanding of impact on technology in some of these spaces. But before we even go to the AI component of tech, can we just simply adopt the initial stages of it? Can we appreciate the initial stages of it? That someone can simply create a profile onto his account, have their profile there, and it's all free of charge, okay? And position themselves, in a way to meet their target audiences. With this data, we shall be able maybe to have some algorithms that help position your business before the right kind of market. I think that's how we can maybe have AI enabled to complement the data that we have. But we cannot do this without you. We cannot have this data on our own. That's why we want to rely on the information that you provide to us. And my call to action for us is let's provide our contact information for inquiries and registration, and the team at Sonnet will be very glad to give you the support. I think with this said, I'd like to open up for any discussions. If you might have any questions that you might want to have responded to, I welcome the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian, for taking us through the platform where farmers can access the market in the region and beyond, and also profile the agricultural produce. You have also highlighted a very important feature, which is B2B chat, where farmers can also chat. And you have highlighted that since the launch of 7 companies are already taking the advantage of the platform. So let me welcome if anyone has a question. Also, meanwhile, Brian, if you can post the registration link in the chat so that people can access it.
Sure, I'll share that right away. I'll share that. Then I'll also share my WhatsApp number. So for any partners that might have any issues, profiling their businesses, or any inquiries, any kind of support, please feel free to reach out to me. My task is very simple. I want to see you take advantage of this platform. I want to see you position your businesses for growth and the bigger market that exists out there. So my name's Otim Brian. I'm sharing this information in the chat. I'll also share my email and my WhatsApp number. So feel free to hit me up. I'll be able to give you any support. Thank you.
Okay, anyone with a question? The link has already been posted in the chat. So
yes,
meanwhile, participants can click it and explore the opportunities on the platform. I don't see anyone who has the question who has raised the hand. So we have someone who has raised their hand. John, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Otim, Brian. My name is John. Once again, this is my second time. I'm from Central Kenya, and I'm just interested in this business of apples because it could be a game changer. They have been doing it, seeing it online. So actually, the IT and digital space, support is very important because even though all the information we are getting about the apples is just online. And I think even going forward, even as we plan for these planning for apples, farming, IT is going to be quite supportive. So I fully agree with you. All the aspects of IT, if all of them are harnessed, they're going to be quite supportive in the whole process. But maybe one area that you have not, maybe I would have liked you to highlight, Brian, is for people who are starting like us now, because we have been in other areas, but now we want to go to serious of, agribusiness in apple farming. How does the whole platform assist new people, new farmers? Because we have knowledge in other areas. We are not okay. We did only the only farming we had done earlier is basically the traditional farming because we used to be with our parents. But now this is a whole new game change. We have been a new game with the agribusiness, proper care. How does your platform support new people in this farming with all the inputs? And I believe this is the way to go because even getting this knowledge about tamu or even any other farming, we are getting it online. So this is going to be supportive. Maybe that area for the initial support for farmers coming on board. If I don't know those ones who are already growing, maybe adding value or whatever, those ones coming on board, how does the system, how is it going to support us, even work with us? You've already mentioned about maybe the financing, which is very critical because this is it's capital intensive. We also need the knowledge, other areas about pH and whatever. So we need all those. So how does the platform support new entrants into the farming, especially for apple farming? Because that's our basic interest. Thank you, Brian. But so far, so good. That's a good way to go. Actually, IT is a way to go because we are going to harness all our knowledges from across the continent or subcontinent of East Africa and going to grow in the particular area. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. John. I must say you've been quite elaborate, and I also want to believe that you speak for very many farmers or people that have interest in getting into this space of agriculture. And so for me, maybe just to respond on how this digital platform can support new farmers or new players that are coming in with either experiences in whatever they are trading in, or with limited knowledge in the agricultural space that they wish to undertake. And so from first principles, I would say that this is an open space. First of all, it's free of charge. That's the first advantage, that as a new player, you know you have a platform that you're going to learn at a zero fee. The other advantage is that we have a section where we share real-time market opportunities, okay, about these products that you're interested in. For example, we've learned about Tamu and you know their expertise in the apple agro-value chain. And so for us, we tap into experts like Tamu and tell them, okay, if you have information, let's say, on how to plan for your seasons, on how to look out for the best seed quality, on how to tune the soil, the soils to support a good crop yield. This is all information that we provide to you on the platform free of charge. Okay, information that you do not have to pay for. But also the other advantage that we have is that there are training programs. Now, like a session like this is a training program that all of us are learning from. Me, as one in the IT space, there's so much that I've learned, and I think at the end of it all, I might also be interested in reaching out to Tam to see how best we can take advantage of our small piece of land somewhere. And that's one of the opportunities that we'll get to learn a lot of training programs that are facilitated by this platform. The other part that I've shared is access to the market, to the vast markets that we have across the East African region, but also under the AFCFTA, that's the Africa Free Trade Continental Area, where you're able to export your produce across partners that subscribe to this protocol. And so, yes, we believe that the platform can provide new farmers with access to market information, pricing trends, buyer networks, enabling them to identify market opportunities and make informed decisions about crop selection, production levels, and sales strategies. Because like I said, having a crop on the market is one thing, and having it go to the right market and you being able to receive the right pricing for it is a totally different thing. And so for us here, we want to walk the journey with the farmers. And how we are enabling this is we are having a one-on-one chat service embedded into the platform, that in the event that you have any inquiries, in the event that you have any guidance that you'd like to seek along the way, information is available to you, and we have a team in place at the EMBC that will be ready to give you this support together with the partners that are making this service available. Then the other thing is that the community engagement. The platform fosters a supportive online community where where new farmers can connect with peers, share experiences, exchange ideas, and collaborate on various farming projects. And so we believe by participating in community discussions and network activities, new farmers can build relationships, gain inspiration, and access valuable resources and support networks within their agricultural community. And so for me, yes, my take is that this is a platform that all of us that have not subscribed to should do immediately after this, I think, session. Please get online. Registration is free. We'll be able to give you advice. We'll be able to give you this market information, and also inform you about sessions like this that will continuously be conducted, because I believe that this is a journey that EMBC is prioritizing so much. And so as we look forward to next engagements and sessions of a kind, welcome you to sign up on the platform, and we'll be able to give you the necessary support in sustaining your growth. I hope I responded to you well, Mr. John.
Oh, Brian, that's great. And that's great. Actually, IT platforms, I believe, is going to be of very big assistance. And in fact, even as we move forward, maybe you may be having the higher pedestal, even maybe bring other players to be part of the platform, maybe like the buyers or the consumers, maybe those organizations that consume. We also know that their registration of maybe your farms, because we want to do smart agriculture, sincerely speaking. We don't want to go doing the way our parents just used to do. They just grow plants and then they just wait for the market to bring itself. We want it to be a little bit predictable, such that if you could be able to bring maybe the other platform, I think maybe the buyers registration, even those certifiers, because some of these things maybe to go to the market require some basic certifications, all those, then they could be a very good ecosystem and a very big motivator, such that we as growers and then the buyers and then the certifiers and all that, then we have that particular common engagement. And I believe this platform is just going to grow. And I think there's that room for that expansion. And I think that we have explained it. I think we are going to go further. We will even further, maybe in future, as you had said initially, even bring maybe financials on board, and then we make agriculture to be quite lucrative, and we change the way we do it, agriculture in our rural setups. So I think there's a way to go. We are going to register. And we are going actually to be partnered with this one. I personally promise that, and we're interested in this apple farming, and we believe these platforms are going to be user supportive. Thank you very much, Brian, and let's grow together. Asante.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, and I believe we'll work with this journey together, because I believe smart agriculture is the way to go. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you, Asante.
Okay, thank you very much, John, for your question and the insights. And thank you, Brian, for responding to the question and also for taking us through the platform. Okay, we don't have any other question. So I encourage you participants to take the advantage by signing up in the platform and explore the opportunities. Okay, for now, okay, let's go to the group photo session. Please, every one of you switch on your cameras. Brian, please stop sharing. Please, everyone share your camera. Turn on your camera for a group photo. Amoniche, please help me to capture the group photo. Brian, can you remove the, can you stop sharing? Okay. Please turn on your cameras. Okay, I would like to thank everyone for participating in today's webinar sessions. So the presentation will be shared to all for future reference. On behalf of Mr. John Bosco Kalisa, CEO of the EABC, allow me to thank you all for attending the webinar today and have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
But Brian has still raised his hand.